Well, hello everybody. We're looking at an Eclipse fog machine with the output on the floor, all that great looking fog. What do you do with that hose? Some people just pop it over the stage edge or try to snake it through the drum risers and such. Um, and hello, it's Tony here. Anyways, we're going to look at the floor pocket today, which is an elegant way to get that fog up onto your stage in a location. If you're on a big Broadway type stage and you got the wings, you can bring it in on the sides, kind of hide it behind the curtains and all. But sometimes it's just difficult to do so. So I'm going to walk over there and make a quick modification to my setup. And we're going to disconnect this hose from the thing, and I have another one that I pre-ran underneath the stage and hooked up to the output of this thing. Then we have us a floor pocket installed on this end of the stage here. So a floor pocket is a pneumatic device that you can run up and down to be a source for that fog on there. So I'm going to go ahead and run it now with that up. Turn on the CO2 from the machine, and I'm adding some smoke to it from the G3000. And now you got nice omnidirectional fog going all over the place from that floor pocket. And when you're done, you just shut it off, close it, and then you have a nice sturdy place you can roll scenery over, people can dance over it or stand on it, and it just disappears flat into your stage steps like that. So I have another one here on my workbench, so I'll give you a little more details on how it works and everything. So this is what the floor pocket looks like out of the box. It's got a ring on top that's to help facilitate mounting it flush into the stage. To mount it flush, you actually have to cut some holes through your deck, and it's like a 2-layer hole. It's the inner part is 10.5 inches wide, and the outer part is 13 inches wide. You have to kind of route this part out. This part, the 13-inch circle doesn't go all the way through. It only goes part way through. And also in that 10.5-inch circle that you cut in there, you're going to have to put a notch in there too, so these electronics will fit in there and then slide down into the hole. So I'm going to go ahead and hook this one up so we can take a look at some of its features. I've got the power run into one of our 2-channel DMX interface boxes. They come standard with the Neutrix connector on it, but it's 110 volts AC. You could adapt it to whatever your non-dim system is, but it's all using this system, which is how our Mega Fog Burst and our Eclipse all attached to a G3000. So this one has 2 channels too, so you could add something like a damper or something like that as well. Also, we have to have an air supply for this. It needs to be between 30 and 100 PSI to work. So I'm going to be using air from an air pig down here. And first we need to hook this in here. It's one of those press to fit fittings. And this press to fit 1/4 inch, press to fit to 1/4 inch NPT, this comes with it. So beyond that, you'll have to supply it. My air pig doesn't have a regulator, so I'm using one of our regulators from a PFI 9D with internal air. Just modified that slightly to be used for this. So now I'll go ahead and give it its air supply. And then this is DMX controlled, so I'm going to use one of our Baxter boxes to operate the thing. So anyways, it's just on or off. So I'll bring channel 3 that it's programmed to up, and there you can see it coming up and down, up and down. Okay, so you saw on our demo one back there that it was a nice omnidirectional. It just the smoke went in all directions, and a lot of times that's going to work. But we also have an adapter that you can put inside the thing that will allow the smoke to go just, like 180 degrees more or less, instead of all the way like that. And it just attaches inside with 2 bolts, 2 nuts. The bolts are attached to the plate already. and just uses a couple of lock nuts in there to do that. So not sure if we can, in the camera there, see where those nuts are right there. So you can get that in the position, and then before you attach your thing, you just rotate the direction you want. So those you get the omnidirectional if you don't have it in there, and directional if you do put it in there, and that would just slide up and down with the pocket as well. So like I said, the range is about 30 to 100. If you go much above 100, you could damage the pneumatic components inside there. So you do want to keep that inside a range. So your air compressor has a regulator on that, so you just have to regulate that less than 100 and more than 30. If you get down too low with the regulator, it just won't work. So anyways, fun little toy. It's a great way to get the smoke out there on the stage. And one of our #1 accessories for the Eclipse low fog machine. So have we got any questions about that today?
Nothing so far, Tony. Don was just saying he was having troubles hearing you when you were back by the machine, but I think that's, you know, our technical difficulties that we're working on.
I'm gonna have to get me a microphone that, you know, travels with me instead of just the overhead microphone. So anyways, it's a kind of a great thing for, you know, if you have a regular stage that's there all the time and you need that smoke, you know, like at a theme park or a traveling show where you're using the same deck pieces and all the time, you can cut that out of there and drop it in there. Yeah, I think it's awesome. They're very strong. They're always very popular at our trade shows when we set one up. So anyways, I can run this for a little bit more if you'd like to see it. Let me switch back to that other camera again.
Link has asked, what is the longest distance?
Longest distance for what?
To push fog horizontally or vertically?
Well, we sell the hoses in 25-foot sections. It's no problem to shove it that far. It'll go further. There's an adjustable fan on the Eclipse itself, and you can push it a good ways like that. You just got to plan your timing in accordance. If you want to get that to open at a certain key, you might need to send your smoking stuff ahead of time. So you can also start it ahead of time, get a little bit of smoke going, and have it in there already, and then just pop that sucker open, and you instantly have your low smoke right away. So, and you need to get rid of it fast. You just shut it down. It's got a gasket in there, so it pretty much stops the smoke flow out of the hole immediately. So sometimes if you're lucky, you get some smoke rings when you pop it afterwards, but maybe
one of your tricks, eh, Tony?
Well, you get bored at trade shows sometimes, you know, when they have a seminar going on somewhere and the crowd is short, you know, you find these little things to do.
So Kevin kind of brought up a fact, Tony, on the stage itself. How big of a stage would you say that this Eclipse and a floor pocket, like what would be the best location, and how much of a stage would it cover typically?
Well, one of these Eclipse machines, you know, will cover a very large stage. I mean, if you had a full-on Broadway stage, you might need two, but that kind of depends where you want the smoke at. If you're trying to, like a ballet or something, and cover the entire stage, you might, you know, it's so dependent on air currents in your room and everything too. If it's a traveling show, you got to keep that in consideration. But if it's your house, you know, where you work all the time, you're going to have I would say a large stage, probably two, a smaller stage, and normal like a high school theater stage or something like that. One would be plenty. In a rock and roll band, you know, probably one in front of the drum riser or something like that with the directional thing on it, and let it spread, you know, the two directions. So it really
so just like everything else, it's just basically based on the actual venue and then the location of airflow and current and all those types of things, right? So
airflow current is #1. That's, I mean, if it's going the other way, you know, you can have 3 machines and it's going to blow it back off the stage with you. You got to work with the current, or you got to shut them off. So a lot of times that's what you turn the air handlers off, during a performance with that sort of thing.
We've had that happen at shows numerous times. That nice big line, an invisible wall that it hits and comes back. We have another question, Tony. Paul is asking if there's any danger of it being stuck up, and does it retract automatically if the system control fails?
Well, pop that sucker back up here. Well, let me just change the camera. The one behind me there, it's if it was to lose control, it'll stay in, it'll retract itself because it doesn't have any power. When it doesn't see any power, it's going to be in the off position. So I guess it's, if you hit it with some scenery or something while it was in the up position, you could damage the RAM potentially. And it's pretty heavy duty and pretty tough, but ramming a big piece of scenery into it probably wouldn't be good.
Yeah, because we usually recommend, like, we tell customers that they can be on a stage where people are going to walk, but it has to be sure that it's closed, right? Like, you can damage that pin inside, no problem.
Yeah, as well as trip up the performer. So you don't want it up unless you need it up. So I mean, that's the beauty of it. It's nice and strong. It's it's got that nice flat top with a textured powder coating on it. It's it's made to take abuse in the down position. When you want smoke, you bring it to the up position. And if you have choreography around that, they for sure need to watch that area, clear that area. The choreographers need to take that into consideration.
Okay, Don put his technical term on there. The unit will close on loss of power or pressure as it has a spring return cylinder.
Thank you, Don. So.
All right, I don't think we have any more questions, Tony.
Okay. Well, once again, we've got our swag bag of products that is available for, if you comment on this video, you could be the one picked to receive that this time. We got the Ultratec backpack string bag. We got an Eclipse t-shirt as well. Black t-shirt with Eclipse, stars on the side, Ultratec on the sleeve. Oh, there's my camera. And of course the lanyard with the handy dandy opener on it as well. So send in those.
Again, that is for anybody who puts their ideas up there on videos that you would like us to do as far as setting up any of our equipment or service ideas. If we choose your idea, we will ship you over one of those Ultratec swag bags. Tony will personally ship it.
Yeah, it will be. I'll be shipping it to you.
All right, I think that's it, Tony. I still don't see any other questions, so I think you got it covered.
Okay, well, great.
Great.
Well, it's there we are. Okay, well, thanks again for joining us today, and send in your topic ideas. We're going to be looking at some different things in the future, but your ideas are always great. So we'll be doing another one in 2 weeks. So thanks very much.
Thank you, Tony.
Bye.